I'm gonna give you a derivative.
And then literally,
Get on the mic, dude.
he goes,
I got a pillow right there for your leg,
"Citations,
too."
You get a written warning. After
3 written
5
warnings?
Written warnings. That's
You get a
literally
demerit.
what they're about
3
to do.
demerits.
Is that pillow there for me?
Yes, sir.
Man, you were socially aware, Paul.
Or I'm just I'm a good host, man.
Yes, you are.
The host with the most.
You're right. I should have been in position this whole time.
Did you check that angle? The angle good? The angle of the dangle on the camera?
I'm strolling with it, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, why not?
Whatever happens, happens.
Exactly. Jesse Westbrook in the house, man.
He's back at it.
In the house.
I am. I'm back at it.
Dude, what's up?
Just
So,
all of it.
Welcome to Talk Junkies, ladies and gentlemen. This is July something, right around the 7th.
6th?
Yeah, 6th, yeah. No,
No,
it's the
7th.
7th, yeah.
7th.
Tomorrow's the 8th, Tuesday's the 9th. It's my brother's birthday. So, Peter, we will hang out. We will enjoy your birthday over dinner.
Happy birthday, Peter.
Yeah.
It sounds weird you call him Peter.
Pete, my bad.
Yeah, it's Pete, man.
Yeah, my bad, Pete.
I mean, that's all I've ever heard you call him is Pete, so it just sounds weird. I didn't even correlate in my head that you were talking about the same person that I've met and known for a couple of years now.
Really?
But, yeah.
Okay.
It's always been Pete, man. That's weird. Happy birthday, Pete.
Yeah.
Peter.
I want to give a shout out just to a few people for subscribing. Zach Sargett, we know you, man, but you subscribed today, so thank you for that. We got Nature Walks. Thanks for subbing. That's from Brian Forrester. So Brian, the podcast we did last week. Thanks for that again, man. That was an awesome podcast. And we got Haley Thurman. She subscribed as well. We all know her. So those are the 3 most recent subscribers.
Dope.
Yeah.
Cool beans, man.
So how you feeling, man? How you feeling? What?
I'm doing better after surgery. After surgery, I'm doing better. I'm on the, I'm on the path to recovery.
How does it feel?
We talked a little bit about it last week. I was going to say, you want to
We
bring
did.
people up to speed?
Oh yeah. So 2 weeks ago, almost to the hour, because it happened on a Sunday. I was tired. I was slightly intoxicated. I was overzealous walking down my steps into my my place of sleeping, and I tripped and fell down literally the last 3 steps down into my basement where I live.
So close.
I was real fucking close, man. I don't know how the fuck I did it, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't. It was like the last fucking 3 steps, and I literally, absolutely fucked my tibia.
Your tibia is what it was.
Yeah, it's my tibia. It's the non-weight bearing bone in your ankle or in your
Man, we should have got that X-ray picture. Could have thrown that up on the screen
I
right
will.
now.
Yeah, I got
just
it.
Yeah.
I'll put it on there.
Yeah, but it was fucking gnarly. I broke. I didn't just break it. Like I broke the fuck out of it. Like it was no longer in contact with the bone. I completely fucked it. But yeah, so I had surgery on it will be a week ago Tuesday, and had to have a plate and 8 screws put in. But that's just life, man. Heartbreak, bone breaks. It is what it is. You just got to keep moving forward, man, and play a Katy Perry song and wake up in the morning and bathe yourself the best that you can and just keep and keep moving fucking forward, man. I tell you what, the worst thing about it, like seriously, probably the worst thing about it, which there's some negatives and there's some positives to having your ankle broken and all you can do is lay in bed and fucking play video games and watch Adventure Time, which is all fucking great things. those 2 things. But the worst part about it is I didn't know this, but I started painkillers because it was very, very painful, especially after the surgery. But I didn't take a shit for like a couple days, and I was just like, maybe I'm not eating as much as I normally do because I'm just laying in bed and I'm not like burning the calories that I normally do, and I kind of just brushed it off. Well, like day 6 or day 7 hit, and I hadn't fucking taken a shit, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
You need some stool softener?
So I fucking, yeah, dude, I get online and I read that opiates they fucking constipate you, or in most cases constipate you, and I was constipated as fuck. So I fucking took like 3 of these fucking name brand bitches, like they're the Nike fucking stool softeners, man, because I was getting worried. I had never gone that long without taking a shit, man. It had literally been a week, and the shit, it was me going back and forth to the toilet probably like every 30 minutes for like 3 hours. because it felt like I had to shit, but I couldn't shit. Like it was right there. But when I did fucking shit, man, you could have fuck whatever dying star that Thor's hammer was made out of. Like the density of my shit, which was just brutal. It felt like I gave birth to fucking something. You literally could have forged a mythic weapon from the shit that came out of my ass. It was so dense. It was so brutal. No bleeding though. No hemorrhoids. Thank God. Shout out to my Lord and Savior for that. I don't fucking know. But yeah, no, that was the worst part. Was the shit that I had to take after, like, not taking a shit for a fucking week. It was brutal. I wouldn't wish that on my worst fucking enemy. I wish an ankle break on my worst enemy, not the shit that I had to take after the opioids that fucking apparently constipate you. So yeah.
So there you have it. You guys got the story.
Yeah, you're up to date.
You're up to date, man. He's back in action. He took an alternate route into my house, which was different, but he did it out of necessity because his leg, he can't go on soft grass. So
Yeah, no.
It was muddy.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to fall again.
No.
It was dark. I'm not trying to re-break nothing, man. I don't have health insurance either, so this is all very expensive for me. So
yeah.
it's still not as bad. The money part is still not as bad as the shit that I had to take after a week.
I don't believe you on that. Do not believe you on that. So you were talking, man, about something controversial, and on YouTube it is tough to talk about things that are controversial. So start it off, man.
Oh, okay.
Just right into it.
All
No,
right.
no.
What you got? What you got?
Okay,
Let's hear it.
so a big thing, and there is definitely a social divide amongst the country in many ways. It's divided, but right now there is a clear side of people being upset and people who are all for the Little Mermaid being cast as being cast by an African American woman. That is, you know, I'm just gonna, before I even say anything, our society has made this an extremely difficult topic to talk about, especially as white males.
Yeah.
As white males, this is a very difficult thing to talk about, because I think a lot of, in this day and age that we live in, it is hard to say things that aren't the liberal norm. Anytime you go away from that and have an opinion outside of that, you're immediately labeled as a racist. So a lot of times people are frightened to even give their opinion on things. But I don't give a shit. I'm going to give my opinion on it.
Let's do it. Johnny, what do you think?
So, like, man, it's, first off, I just want to throw out, it's sad that you have to, like, be worried about what people are going to think of you and shit, and be, like, conscientious of the shit that you're going to say because of, I don't know if I'm wording that right, but you know what I mean? Because it is a controversial topic, and you're like, man, I don't want people to, like, whatever. Anyways. So, I don't really have a problem with it, honestly. Like, if they want to do that, that's perfectly fine. I'm not against it in any way, shape, or form. I'm not pitchfork up in arms. At the same time, I will say that, like, I don't think there would be anything wrong with, I mean, if Ariel from the classic is a white character, I don't think there's anything wrong with having it remain a white character. That's what you have. I mean, that's what the character was. Now, that being said, I also agree with, there was a friend of mine from high school, her name was, I won't last name, her first name was Jay. She was, I can't remember what the actual, like, she's Asian, I don't remember what actually, I think she's Korean. But she used to post a lot of stuff all the time, and she's really adamant about how they're whitewashing a lot of things in Hollywood. And I agree with that. There's lots of, like, classic book characters and stuff that are either, like, black or Asian or Indian or whatever, and they get turned into a white character in movies and TV. You know, they don't follow the source material, they get turned into a white character. I am all for keeping the source material, and then being, if they're black in the book, they're black in the movie. If they're Indian in the book, they're Indian in the movie. I got no problem with that. I'm all for them not whitewashing and stuff. But then you also have to say the opposite side of it, which is when Ariel, the Little Mermaid, is white, there's nothing wrong with casting it as a white actress for the live action version, you know? And if you're upset about that, that's, I don't know, I think that's weird. That being said, I don't have it, like, there's some people who are hardcore against it being an African American actress, you know? And I'm like, I'm not against it. If I had a choice, like if I had to weigh in one side or the other, I'd say I'm like 60%, I think it should be a Caucasian actress because that's what the source material is. And maybe I'm uneducated. Maybe the Little Mermaid story goes back farther than Disney, and it comes from something even way before that, because a lot of them do.
Yeah.
But this is what it's known for.
But what it's known for is
they're recreating the Disney movie
that was brought out in like 88 or 89 or whatever.
And I'm going to build off you real quick.
Okay.
If I honestly believed that the Hollywood casting directors sat down and just said, you know what, we need a young female actress to play the role of Ariel, and it was, we don't care what race you are, you could be Asian, you could be black, you can be white, you could be Latino, whatever, come in, and we're gonna try to find the best actress who has the voice that fits Ariel, the mannerisms that fit Ariel, and we're just not even gonna look at race as so much as a thing. Then I'd be like, fuck yes, but that's perfectly fucking fair. But what I'm getting the hint of is that Hollywood only cast black actresses to play the role of Ariel for the reason of this was a white character in the Disney story. So now us being Hollywood need to put our Hollywood spin on it and make it an empowerment fucking thing, and then put our political position into this kids fucking movie.
I could see them doing that.
And then fuck up shit for everybody. Like it would be different if I want to see everyone that they cast. If they literally gave every female actress that was young that was going out for the part and literally excluded race, I'd be like, fuck yeah. No, you did the right thing. You did the right thing. But I guarantee you, whoever was overseeing this movie said, you know what? Ariel needs to be black this time around. She needs to be a black girl because of our political position, and
we want to mix things up.
We need to empower black people because, all the turmoil, all this. It's a fucking Disney movie. You don't need to be putting, which I get this feeling. I just have this fucking feeling. This is what this is stemming from, because Hollywood is trying to put a political fucking agenda into a fucking movie, which should be just strictly for entertainment. Like I said, and I'm going to say it again, if they were to just cast any girl regardless of race, that would be fucking awesome. I'm all for that. I do not fucking get that vibe. I have a feeling they're trying to push their political fucking agenda into a movie.
You've seen them come out and say that they've only casted,
No, I haven't. I have that fucking feeling.
I agree with you. I lean more towards that side. I lean more towards.
They were going for this controversial.
It was a conscientious decision for them to choose.
This is a political.
A non-Caucasian actress.
Yeah, specifically.
No, I mean, I'm with you on it. In the aspect if they did cast anyone and everyone who was wanting to play the part, and that's just how it should be, no matter what movie it is. Yeah, no matter if it's Superman, Batman. At that point, I keep saying
no.
Okay. At that point, it is what it is. I mean, you gotta cast the best character. I think that we've come to a time where we have to evolve. Yes, the comic books, 100, 200 years from now, is it going to matter what the color of the person is 100 or 200 years from now?
No, but even then, you were talking about comic books. So, like Spider-Man, Peter Parker is white. Like, that is the character. There's a black Spider-Man. His name is Miles Morales. But it's a different character with a different storyline. They didn't all of a sudden rewrite a version where Peter Parker...
But for the aspect of Hollywood, and for what Hollywood is... There has to be casting.
I get that, but I bet you they don't make us. I bet if they make a Spider-Man movie where Spider-Man is black, it will be Miles Morales. It won't be Peter Parker. It's a different kind of.
For sure.
Okay.
And I'm getting off on a tangent there. That's not completely related.
Okay.
You just made me think of it when you were talking about comics.
So let me go into my other point. If, let's just saying, and this is the completely fair way to go about it, is you don't look at race at all. You just look at the individual, right? Because that's what's important in society. Is we need to get over this whole race thing. That everybody's fucking human. That everybody's a fucking human being. Everybody needs to be treated equally. That you shouldn't just, in this case, like cast somebody. So let's just say this. If you had a bunch of people and they didn't look at race, like let's say in the new Black Panther, right? You know where I'm going with this. If an Asian guy fucking fit the character traits of Black Panther from the comic books better than any other male black actor, right? And they cast him in Black Panther. Or even let's say a white guy. I'm just gonna go all the way here. Fuck it. I didn't want to do this, but because now this is getting into the area to where you get a lot of criticism from people, especially on the left. I don't give a shit. I'm going to go there anyway. Let's say a white guy meets the character traits of what Black Panther was as a person in the comic books better than any of the other black actors going out for that role, and you cast a white guy to play Black Panther. What would happen in our society right now if Hollywood were to do that?
See, that's exactly why.
Wouldn't that be unbelievably racist, right?
Yeah, well, which
You
is
would
why
get so much backlash for that.
which is why I think that Ariel should be white. I don't necessarily have a problem because I don't care about the character as much. I know that's whatever. I don't care about the Little Mermaid enough for me to. But to me, I feel like you're talking about how everybody's the same. Like obviously, like racism is a thing. It shouldn't be a thing. We should all be able to like live in harmony, and everybody should just be equals. We're all human beings, right? At the end of the day, we're all human beings. But we're also different. Like who you are is who you are. And there's characters that are lined up, like I said, with Peter Parker and Miles Morales. Black Panther is a Wakandan character, which is basically based in South Africa, which is a black character. So that should be an African American that should be a black actor.
And you would be whitewashing, and,
Yes,
and it
exactly.
would be racist
Exactly.
to have
It
a white
should-
person
like when
play,
I see Black Panther,
Black
I
Panther.
want
So when
right?
so a lot of these comic books are now turning into movies, of course. And when were these comic books written? Give or
That's
take.
my thing. If you, I think
Give or
that
take.
if you want to
Black
change
Panther
this,
was probably came out in the 80s, I would
Right.
assume.
if
So
you want
then-
to change
so
this
the-
kind of systemic stuff, though,
So all I'm saying is there was a lot of racism going on in that period of time.
okay,
So we don't have to stick to that.
No,
I mean,
no.
I think I'm with you, Jesse, on the fact that you should cast it. And yes, there might be whitewashing and all that stuff like that, but we need to get past the point. Like anyone can play any role. That's where we're heading.
And that would be fine if Hollywood did that.
Yeah.
But I guarantee
See,
you,
I
I hate this political. I think that the Hollywood is almost driving this race war kind of fucking thing.
see, I disagree, and I don't think that. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to like
you're
hardcore
good. You're
interrupt
good.
you.
That was all I was
just-
going to say.
Fresh on my mind. I don't think any actor should be able to play any. The more I'm thinking about this, the more I'm leaning towards. Like the more we're talking about it, the more I'm leaning towards Ariel being white, for the same reason that I think that Black Panther should be black. That is what the character is. Now, if you say that back in the day, Disney, all these stories they created were mostly white characters because they were racist back then, I realize that. When you redo the story, though, you still keep the original. I hate to say it, but you keep the original casting of what those characters are. New stories, sure, change things up. They had the movie that came out, I don't know how long ago it was now, probably like 9 years or so. It was the one that had I never saw it, but it's a animated, it's a Disney movie with a black princess, and they're in like Louisiana or something like that with like there's a frog and everything. Like it was a
I know
new.
what you're talking about.
It was a new Disney film, and they had the princess was black or whatever. And I'm like, that's totally cool. I got no issue with that. It's a new story. That's cool. I'm just saying, I don't think we should change the old stuff. And I'm not just sticking with Disney here. I'm saying for everything. Like you say anybody can play any role. I disagree. I think that plain and simple.
But
If it's
that's fair, though.
a white character, they should probably be white. If it's an Indian character, don't whitewash
Sure.
them. Don't have a white actor play an Indian
because
character.
that's what actors are. And this is
People
like the whole
are
thing.
like we're all humans, but people are still their race as well. Like if it's an Indian,
And when it comes to a
character,
story
have
that,
an Indian
and when
actor.
it comes to a story that's important too, whenever it comes to portraying what actually happened in, like, let's say a period piece,
the backstories,
you would
yeah.
want as most accurately as you could do everything to portray that character,
So you
race and everything. But
so
this
you
is
could go
my
as-
whole thing.
You could go as far back. I mean, not as far back, but with Iron Man, for instance, what does it matter if Iron Man is black or white? What does it matter? at
It
that
doesn't
point?
matter.
Because what's his backstory? He's born and raised in America.
So
What does it matter at that point?
It doesn't.
it doesn't. But you have
matter.
the character.
But this
You have
is-
the character of Tony Stark, who is specifically, and then you have War Machine, who I can't remember his name. I'm saying you shouldn't change characters that have already been written, though. You want to write new characters, go for it.
Yeah.
new storylines, new
New
adaptations.
storylines, everything. That's fine.
I'm even fine with Ariel being black, but
I'm still gonna watch the movie, and I'm sure if it's done well, I'll really like it. Like I said,
Oh yeah.
I love The Little Mermaid. I fucking love that story. But my whole thing is Hollywood is doing this bullshit. They're doing this bullshit, and they can't even realize the racism that they're creating by doing this, by saying, oh, we need to empower these people, but then now you're less of a person because you're a white male and you're privileged, and then all this. Like, this is what this is stemming to. Like in my opinion, this is what all this is coming from. This is an you should not like yourself because you're white or you're male, and we need to, and they're literally trying to flip the script to where I feel as though, like I said, I guarantee you, they only cast black girls for that role, which within itself is that not a little bit fucking racist within itself?
Man, what if it's actually, this is messed up, but what if it's a little more nefarious than that even? What if, honestly, like, what if they cast it not for political agenda, not for anything like that, but simply because they know that things like what we're doing right now will happen? Everybody's talking about the new Little Mermaid movie. Motherfuckers are going to see that shit left and right. Everybody's talking about it because it's such a hot topic right now. That in itself, this is messed up, but we've seen way worse versions in the past.
That's true.
This
No,
is
you're
a
right.
form
I
of
didn't even
fucking
think about
marketing.
that.
This
You're
is
right.
literally marketing for them.
Yeah.
It's free publicity.
That's what it's
Like,
about.
We don't know, but I'm saying, what if that is what it's about, though? That's a far more, like...
I think a lot of
Well,
it
they're
is.
feeding off a dark aspect of
I know,
of our
that's what I'm saying.
society.
That's a far
And
more
fucking
nefarious
evil.
fucking... That's a more nefarious
you're-
fucking goal there.
If
But
you're
that's
feeding off the fact that people,
They are
you know,
they are the Bill Belichicks.
that's marketing genius.
They really are. They win the Super Bowl every time.
they're like, hey, racism still exists, and we need to fucking benefit off the
Yeah,
fact,
we can
off
we can
the
drive
fucking
off
fact
of that and
racism
have
still
free
exists.
publicity for our movie.
Right.
Why do we need a... Have you seen
You're
an
right.
ad? Have you seen a fucking ad for Little Mermaid?
I haven't yet.
But
no.
I've
No,
seen
I
a
haven't.
million fucking articles that they didn't pay for.
You're right. I really, well, they're fucking geniuses then, because they know where to hit and spark controversy, and you know, in that case, we're just fucking feeding into it. We need to not talk about it anymore.
No, and I should
That's
say
the
that
fucking
I should
case.
also say that I have no problem with them. This goes back to what I was talking about characters specifically are written a certain way. Like, there's a movie. It's a British movie. I say it old. It's not really old. There's a British movie that I really, really like called Death at a Funeral. It is mostly a white cast, and it has one or two, I actually only think one, black actor in it. Years later, like 8 years after it came out, they remade it with all black family with one white actor. And that movie was good too. It had like the same script. It even had some of the same lines, some of the same jokes and everything. It was a remake though, with a different, honestly, a different target demographic, a different target audience. You know, it was very much like a.
It was like
it was like a Tyler Perry movie or something like that. You know what I'm getting at. You know what I mean.
They did it with Breaking Bad. They did a Spanish version as well with all Spanish actors
Okay,
on Netflix.
yeah. So but I mean, I love that movie. I love Death at a Funeral. I like the original more than the new one, and that has nothing to do with race or anything. It's because it's the original. I saw it first, and it's just that's the first time I've heard the jokes. I love that movie, and they remade it, and the one with black actors is really, really good too. But I'm saying I have no problem with the fact that they remade that with a different version, and you could do the same for these other kind of stories. So maybe it is me being biased here, but I think it's because we grew up on Disney and stuff like that, and we're so like ingrained in what it is, because those characters are... I couldn't tell you a character's name in Death at a Funeral.
Yeah, but I don't...
I can tell you who Ariel is. I can tell you who Iron Man is.
For sure, but I don't think it should come down to making two separate movies to cast two different types of race. You know, like
No, absolutely not.
It has to be with originally what Jesse said, and it has to come down to who is best fit for this role or this position.
Regardless of race.
Yeah, and yes, Hollywood is a very powerful influence. They are able to reach out to millions and millions of people. The box offices, they set records every year with new movies that come out. So yes, people are very involved with the movie company. So we have to be understanding of what truly is happening right now, and it's a good thing that we're talking about it. Yes, we're feeding into it, but at the same time, we're shedding light on what is going on right now.
You still... There's still storytelling elements to it, and I'm going a little hardcore with this right here. But you talk about how anybody can cast as any role and stuff. There's still like
Like
you
a
have
period
elements-
piece. Like a period piece
yes,
about
you
Schindler's List,
You have stuff
right?
like that, or even I'm like
You
I said, I'm
couldn't
going,
have an Asian guy play Schindler in Schindler's List, right? Because
That's
that would be
based-
fucking insane, because that's a period
That's
piece.
based on a true story, though, Schindler's
True,
List.
but I mean, even I guess what I'm talking about is people always want to act like, okay, yes, we are all the same. We are all human beings, and everybody should be treated the same with the same amount of respect and fairness and everything. I agree with that 100%. But to say that we're not different is messed up as well, because you can we are different. Everybody is individuals, and there are differences in culture and like that's just reality. That's what it is. So when you have a movie where both parents are white, so their kids are cast as white as well. If there was a black kid, they would have to say something in the movie about them being adopted or something, or you would assume they're adopted, that they're not biological, because that's how the world works. You know what I mean? You can't just cast anybody
there some fundamental,
as anything
because
because we're realistic
things within there too.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, because we are different. Maybe I'm getting too scientific with it and getting too.
Well, I think that's
losing the point here.
No, that's obvious. It's obvious that would be the case. But I think what the main question is, what we've been talking about for the first 30 minutes of this podcast, is the fact that it's just it has to come down to who can play the role right. But if Hollywood went the route that Jesse's talking about, and if it's true that they only casted black character for Ariel, I think that is completely wrong. You're 100%.
And we don't know.
Right.
We probably won't know.
Oh,
on
no,
that.
they won't disclose that.
No, they won't
at all.
And that's frustrating.
I think it's blatantly obvious what happened, because this is such a Hollywood thing to do, and I didn't even see the aspect of
That's
the
the
benefit
marketing,
for,
bro.
for the
It's
free
straight up marketing.
So it could just be a money issue. It couldn't even be a political agenda as far as what I was talking about.
It's more likely
which
money. Money drives everything.
And you're insane to think that Hollywood is not extreme left within their political views. And I think that this is something that fits very much in there as well, as far as their agenda goes.
See, here's the thing, though. I think they're extreme right in their political views as to where they like making money.
To the money.
Yes, they're extreme.
But you're talking about morality.
They're extreme left as to what they're selling you. They want to appear far left because, like we've said in past podcasts, the left has won the culture war.
Absolutely.
Liberals have won the culture war. So how do you appeal to the most people, to the largest demographic, is by doing liberal things, by doing left things.
Yeah.
And that will appeal to the most. That's what makes you the most money.
Yeah, but
that's what it all, we've had this conversation before. That's what it all comes down to. It all comes down to money in the end.
Oh yeah.
It's true.
There's been a New York Times came out with a piece where they actually show how far.
Oh man, it might be time to put an option into Disney stocks.
Yeah.
I might do that tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna explode, man.
Yeah, dude, Disney stocks going up.
Same stuff happened with Nike whenever the Kaepernick stuff happened. Nike stocks went out the roof.
It might already be too late. I should have done like 3 days ago.
Yeah. But New York Times came out with a piece. It was like a pie chart, basically, or not even a pie chart, but it was a chart of how far left the left have actually went, and it's extremely left. Like it starts off by year from like the early maybe the 1990s and up, and then you have the right, and then you have the left, and then you have the middle. And the left goes like this.
I mean, that's just someone drawing a chart, though. You have to see actual numbers. Like, what are they going off of?
I would have to pull it up, but I mean,
you can as an individual tell that there is no right wing agenda at all in any mainstream media at all.
Fox News, that's it.
Everything is very much pro feminism.
I still see some. It depends what is recommended to you on your media as well. I see a lot of right wing stuff still delivered to me through YouTube and Facebook.
We're talking about Hollywood and movies.
Oh yeah, well, movies for sure.
So
for sure.
So everybody can agree that they're extremely biased and very left.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where
that's all I got. That's all I got on that.
That's all I got on that too.
Yeah, I'm gonna see the movie. I should throw that out
I
there.
will too.
Yeah.
I fucking love that movie.
I'm gonna see it in theaters.
Everybody fucking loves. I still love Beauty and the Beast more. Beauty and the Beast is still up
How was
for
you
me.
saw Aladdin? I haven't seen it. How was Aladdin?
Aladdin was really good, except
Oh,
except for this song that they added, which felt so out of place to me. Which is once again a very liberal female empowerment thing, which I felt like they didn't need to do, because Jasmine was already this completely strong female character within the movie.
and you actually
that you didn't need to add in that song that was it just felt really out of place. I can't even remember the lyrics of the song. It just felt so out of place in that movie that they added in. I thought everybody did a really good job. Obviously, you can't replace Robin Williams as the genie, but man, Will Smith did.
That's what surprises me.
He was his own genie. He was his own genie. Something about Robin Williams, man. His comedy timing in the original was fucking phenomenal. But Will Smith was his own genie. It wasn't like he was trying to do Robin Williams genie. He was doing his own Will Smith genie with a slight throwback to Robin Williams. But that movie was really fucking good. It was really good. Besides that one added song that they needed to show emphasis on the fact that Jasmine was a strong female character, but that was already set within the story.
Yeah,
that
she,
they didn't
she
need
was
to
the
do.
princess of the kingdom.
Yeah,
and
she
Aladdin was a poor
Well,
man.
I was gonna say,
she
I don't
wasn't a
wanna-
little
Come on.
bitch in that movie at all. She was a bad bitch in that
I don't
movie.
want to. I don't want to
Jasmine-
spoil anything
Jasmine
for
was doing
anybody
shit
who
in that
hasn't
movie.
seen it. I don't want to spoil anything, but from what you said, they also kind of, like I said, I won't get into too much detail here. They changed, and you know what I'm talking about. They changed a couple of story elements.
Yeah, they did.
They-
They did.
they
It was
changed it.
Spoil it, man. Aladdin's
No,
been out
I'm
for
not
a
gonna-
minute.
I-
It's
I
been
don't
out
care.
for-
I'm
it's
still not
been
gonna
out
spoil
for-
it.
Well, I haven't seen it. We've all seen the movie. What did they change?
It's pretty big what they changed,
Yeah,
actually.
well, what
So
is
I'm
it?
not going to
Say
spoil
it.
it.
Just say
They
it.
went down. They went down another avenue, but it still ended up in the same place. But it's just about how they got there.
So Aladdin isn't poor in the movie? Is that what it is?
No.
No.
The fundamentals are all the same, and the movie ends the same, essentially. But it's just about how they get there.
I'll tell you later, Paul, if you want to
Changes.
know. I just don't want to
Yeah,
say it.
for
It
sure.
actually is a pretty decent spoiler, so I don't want to.
For sure.
And now I'm trying to fucking remember it. It's been a while. I can't remember the different avenue that they went down. And I wish they would have cast Jafar as an older, creepier fucking guy, because it was a good-looking fucking guy that played Jafar. He was a young dude, good-looking. No, Jafar is supposed to be old and creepy. They didn't.
Yes.
I felt like they could have.
So
They need to cast an older, creepier fucking dude for Jafar. That's all I gotta say.
Have they
about Aladdin.
made-
It's still a really fucking.
This is
good
a
movie.
real, just out there question. Have they made a live action version of Anastasia? The one with the bat and the one with Rasputin and
No.
stuff?
No, I've never even seen that movie.
Dude, I love that fucking movie. I don't know. We were just talking about fucking animated movies now and shit. I like that one.
Pretty sure Homeward Bound is Disney. I could be wrong, but that's my favorite shit. And that was
And I
never,
like
never
The Great Mouse Detective. It's like Sherlock Holmes, except it's Basil of Baker Street.
I don't know
what the
to
fuck
check
you're
that out.
talking
I
about,
don't
man.
either. Yeah.
I will not be checking that out.
That I don't blame you. I wouldn't. I mean, you're an adult male. You're 28 years old and have no reason
Well,
to watch.
I've really enjoyed the remakes of the live action Disney films, and I'm
It's
sure that
about
I'm gonna.
that time. I mean, Marvel's doing it. All
Yeah.
these other comic books are. I mean, you know,
I'm sure I'm gonna enjoy the Little Mermaid too. Like that's
yeah, Disney's
like, Little
bound to do
Mermaid's
it.
a fucking classic.
They got
like-
the technology. Do it. Do it. Do it.
I just think Hollywood's doing some fuckery back.
Well,
You know,
at
on-
that
on the back end.
at that point, it wouldn't be Hollywood. It's definitely Disney. Disney's
That's
buying
part
out.
of-
Disney's buying out everything. Legitimately buying.
Yeah, but what I'm
everything
saying,
the
out.
man,
money,
I
too.
still think now that we're talking about it, and I don't want to get back into the whole conversation, but you're talking about money and all this. I think it's a marketing thing. I honestly think it's a marketing thing more than anything else.
It's a possibility. I mean, Hollywood's super left, like you said, but Disney is Disney, and they're obviously
They
super
are
left.
making money off the fact that we're even talking about this right now. If 3 people listen to this
They're gonna
and they
watch it.
decide to watch that movie,
It's in their brain to go watch
Yeah.
that movie. If
It's-
they haven't seen any
people
live
don't-
action Disney movie yet, they're gonna go watch this one because this one's controversial now.
I'm just curious how you're saying everyone's talking about it because neither of you watch the news.
Dude, this is so. It was.
wait, I don't watch the news? You mean I don't watch the incredibly biased random stuff where they talk
Well, I'm
about...
just saying, like, how did this pop up randomly into your guys' life?
Because I look at news at a whole bunch of different places. I just don't watch fucking CNN.
Okay, I see what you're saying, man.
I think it was whenever I first saw it was an argument that was reposted from Reddit on Imager, which I read this back and forth between a couple individuals about it, and then that's what got my interest in it, and then my mind started, ticking on, what's going on here, what's the score here. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I heard about it first, or read about it first.
Gotcha. Well, Johnny and I were outside before the podcast, and we were smoking tobacco out of a filter. That
This is a weird way to say that we were outside smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
we definitely were, and we were thinking of another topic of potentiality. If that's even a word, I don't think it is.
That's a word.
We were talking about another potential topic for the podcast. I got you, Paul. Don't worry.
I appreciate you, man. And
You're George Bushing it over here.
It's very basic. It truly is. And I don't think that we've talked about it in a very minuscule way, but when you break it down and you ask the true core of the question, what is law to you, Jesse?
What is law to me?
What is law?
Law is whenever there's a problem in society,
No, keep going.
that's going to distract the fuck out of me. You can't do that while I talk. Law to me is there's a problem in society, and the top of the hierarchy are trying to come up with solutions to the problem. And due to their limited knowledge of the problem and the fact that they're human and have limited knowledge, they come up with something called a law, which simply makes something illegal. So there is a problem in society, and as opposed to coming up with a true solution to it, their best answer to that problem isn't solving it, it's just coming up with a law. That's what laws are, half-assed solutions to problems. That's what they are to me. I'm going to summarize it like that. Laws are half-assed solutions to actual problems.
Johnny,
And I will leave it at that.
what do you got, Johnny?
I'm always laughing at Jesse's fucking mic.
Sorry about that.
It's because I'm scooted up, because I have to have my fucking leg propped up. Otherwise, it fucking gets all
My
funky.
leg hurts. I broke it.
Fuck you, bro.
I'm just kidding. That sucks, bro. I would never. Man, I hope that never happens to me.
I'd prefer.
Sounds awful.
I'd still. My dick still works. So.
Nice. What about law now?
What is it to you? What does law mean to you?
Basically what Jesse said for the most part, honestly. Law doesn't, I'm more worried about like the morality of some laws. Like we talk about, when you just get on the subject of law in general, there's the whole right versus wrong on a moral level and like a value and ethics and stuff. Because there's some laws out there that just don't make any fucking sense. And I mean, I'm not talking about like there's the blue laws like, oh man, you can't have a popsicle stick in your pocket on a Tuesday. Like that's not allowed.
Those can't be real. I've fucking read some of those. Like you can't be on a donkey and order a pepperoni pizza in fucking Kentucky.
Yeah, some of those are super fucking old school.
That
Okay,
can't be
let me
real.
do
Those aren't
some of the.
enforced. Those aren't enforced fucking laws. We're talking about enforced laws.
But the fact that they were ever written like, oh, a woman can't wear high heels on a Sunday, like that's a real one in fucking Louisiana or somewhere. That obviously isn't enforced, but the fact that it ever had to be written in the first place.
sounds like some ISIS bullshit.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't really have a good answer for what is law and all that. I just know that there's some that would it be better if we went back to the old way where like if you and I get in a fight at a bar, we can walk outside and legally duel?
I mean, the weaponry is different, but
but then I mean one of us dies.
the end result is the same. Yeah, you're right.
One of us dies, but it's legal. Like I don't go to jail. Like if I end up winning and I kill you, I don't go to jail.
I think the.
But at the same time, with the laws we have now, that doesn't happen, and then neither of us dies. So that could be a good thing, right?
It is a good thing, or is it? The question is, do we really need higher ups or hierarchy like Jesse says? And to me, I would go along with both of you and agree with what you feel law is, but in the aspect of should we have a law saying that Johnny and I can't duel? What is the necessary? What is so necessary about that law existing?
That's what I was gonna say. Who has? Wait. Go
Absolutely. Until we merge with the mother AI. Up until the point to where we merge with the mother AI, then yes, we need
Paul
law.
and I are both of if Paul and I are both of conscious
That's a joke, guys.
conscious mind.
That was a joke.
Yeah,
If we're a bar is probably not the best example because of alcohol, but
Yeah.
like
We're at-
if we're both on
we're at court. I stole your furniture.
yeah,
Yeah,
and we both decide right then and there while we're both sober, perfectly conscious mind.
we're gonna
Between
duel.
it's a thing between you and me.
We're gonna
Nobody
duel.
else is involved. Just
No
you
one.
and me. We're at court. You stole my fucking couch. We're gonna duel right here
Yeah,
and figure who else.
Like Yu-Gi-Oh cards?
Who else?
Like,
Yes,
like Card of the
obviously.
Cards?
Even-
Obviously,
Blue Eyes
Yu-Gi-Oh
White
cards.
Dragon coming out?
even
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh. Sure.
Yeah, fuck it. We
However
want to
you
settle
do
it
it.
over Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's my kind of dueling, man.
Point is, like, why does the government get to determine that we can't do that? It's just between us.
Good question, man.
Yeah. So the question stems. I think that control has gone way too far, in that they have come to a point where they're controlling a lot of aspects of our life, and not just in our own personal life, but as us as a society. And that's the most.
Society. Sorry, bro. That was
Man.
that was hardcore.
I was getting my references from P Wiz, man. P Wiz showing up to the
That was like-
podcast.
I would never make fun of you stuttering, but there were like 6 S's in there, bro.
P Wiz showing up to the fucking mic, hot mic, man.
The society.
But you see what I'm saying? Really, it's they've interrupted all of our lives, and they're making more laws and more laws and more laws. And it's really, really frustrating for people like you and I.
We're more than willing to give them up, though.
And that's
Think
even
about
that's
think
even
about how
more-
willing as a society we've given them up.
You forgot that society, but and we are, because that's a whole nother podcast to go down through the rabbit hole of how they've gotten us all into the state of mind where we don't revolt. And I think we
that goes back to control and everything else we've talked about a
Goes
million
back to my
times.
hierarchy talk.
for sure, yeah. But
talks, but
damn
And
it.
also convenience. We give it all up because we love convenience.
yeah, no.
I'm all about being able to look up anything on my phone anytime I want. Facebook, keep in contact with my friends. Fucking sign away my rights. Fucking shovel
No,
advertisements
for
down
sure,
my
for
throat.
take my freedom
But
as long as I
steal-
can see number
but hold on,
15
hold on,
fucking
hold
toss
on.
a pigskin.
Steal
fucking
my
90
fucking
yards.
information.
Hold on. But and within Facebook and YouTube and all these things that we use, there are laws, basically agreements that turn into laws for these platforms, in essence, that I lost my train of thought. That we
try to find
lose-
it. I gotta
we-
piss real bad. I'll
we-
be back. Sadly, this is gonna take a lot longer than what it.
The
normally
podcast
takes
will
me.
be done by the time Jesse gets back.
We
No,
lose
it's
those
gonna take 5
rights
minutes.
whenever we sign away the agreement, which is technically a law, and when it comes to Facebook and stuff like that, and YouTube. And I'm not trying to go down the censorship avenue. No, I'm not going that route at all. I'm simply stating that we have given up a lot of freedoms and rights via laws that, and some of these laws, Johnny, congressmen and congresswomen within the state themselves just do themselves. And then if
What do you mean?
so like whenever we had our Missouri gun legislation law, which you and I think kind of agreed with, I don't remember entirely.
I don't. If I recall, I don't completely agree with you in terms of what the law is, but I 100% agree with the fact that it's great that we're doing it because it's a move in the right direction for states being separate from
For sure.
federal.
But
Keep talking. I'm listening. I'm going to grab a drink.
okay, but in that aspect, those were lawmakers in Missouri, and I know that they're supposed to listen to their constituents within their own in each city, but they all came together and they passed that law, and then the governor signs it. So you have a group of people who are allowing these laws to happen. It's the same for, and I know that speed limits are necessary, but I remember whenever we would drive down 58 all the time, and it was 35 miles an hour. Up until like the past 5 years ago, when I turned like 25 years old, then it turned to 45 miles an hour.
Someone, I think it was Jeff. You know, we recently had lunch with him or whatever.
Yeah.
That Jeff.
Yeah.
Because he's been here a lot longer than me. I moved to Belton about 4 years ago.
Right.
He told me that it used to be like 50
No.
on the main strip here.
No. It was 35 for the longest time.
Really?
35 miles an hour. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It was
Like I said, I don't know. I haven't,
Yeah.
but I could have swore he said
wa-
it was higher, and it got worse after they slowed it down.
No, and that's frustrating. I mean, that's just one small example. But I guess the core of the question of what I say, what is law, is do we really need other men and women in suits congregating together and making laws for us? Is that really truly necessary? Because whenever you take it to the Washington level, and whenever you have the House of Representatives, and you have the Senate, and then you have the President determining what these laws are, they're ordinary people like you and I. You know, just because they went to school or they did this or they
we
did
also vote them in. They are our representatives. The problem is that you get into this goes back to something that we brought up like 7 or 8 podcasts
hold
ago.
on. How many
Go ahead.
people vote though?
No,
For a
that's
presidential
that's
debate?
what I'm
It's-
getting
it's
at.
not everyone.
And also what we're voting on is not based on the same thing because the way advertisement is, the way that the campaigns are managed, the way that,
Right.
and plus these people are doing it for money. They're not doing it for the better well-being of, you know what I mean? They're doing it to move up their position. When realistically, the people you should have voted in, making laws and shit, shouldn't be paid at all.
No, they shouldn't. And
They should be the people who legitimately want to do it to make their community a better place.
Exactly.
And not move up their political agenda. You really want to do it the right way? Have it be, oh, you go into Congress to make laws and shit, you're not paid, you're taken care of. You're provided with housing and whatnot, you're
Yeah.
provided with food, but you're not paid, you don't get a salary, you can still work another job, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And when you're done, you can never hold a political office. Never any other political office. You don't get to move up. None of that. You're done. Which means you literally went there and sacrificed to make your community or the people you're representing better.
I'm all for that. That's how that's exactly how it should be.
But right now, people go in to make money and they go in to move up. They want to move from Congress to the higher tier. They want to become,
They're-
Secretary of Defense or whatever. I don't know all the fucking political terms. But my point is, like, you really want it to be done right, have the people who are making laws, the people who are representing you at whatever level, just after they're done, That's it. There is no moving up from that. They go back to their normal job, education, whatever. None of this, I don't know. It's politics is just as bad as everything else in capitalism. It is all about the money and the power and the moving up and stuff. They don't give a shit about what's actually happening to the people.
They don't. And those are the people who are making laws for us.
Or at least as one of the people, I feel that way.
And I've mentioned High Impact Flicks a few times on this podcast, and it's Brian. Brian's a guy that I listen to quite a bit, and there's a lot of things I agree with him on, and there are a lot of things I disagree with him on. But there's one thing that I truly agree with him on, and if he ever listened to this podcast, I think he would too, is that I'm going to word it wrong, but I know the phrase. It's like if you're never do wait, how do you say that saying? Never do something to someone that you wouldn't want done to you.
Do unto others as you would have done unto yourself. It's
Exactly.
the golden rule.
Yeah. I mean, if you treat others with respect, you're going to get respect. Don't hurt anyone. If you're in your house and you want to do whatever the fuck you want to do, then do what the fuck you want to do. I should be able to do whatever I want to do in my house.
We've talked about this with drugs before, where it's like, you want to do bath salts in your house and go fucking nuts?
Yes.
Do it. As soon as you step out on the street and you decide to murder someone, yeah, you're charged with murder because that was your decision.
Right. That's my question of what is law. Like, has it gone too far where they're making way too many...
Is it dystopian? You're asking, is it too far to where now it's become dystopian?
Yeah, it's a police state.
No, not yet.
I mean, okay, so now in Missouri, you're decriminalized if you have marijuana in your car, right? But you're still getting fined $600.
I think
so. They're pulling you over.
Money, bro. Everything's about money.
You have half an ounce, and I don't smoke weed. It's been years since I've been arrested for marijuana, which I've been arrested 3 times.
Did you say a year or years?
Years,
okay.
Years, yeah. But I know a friend who got arrested, and he's getting a $600 fine for having half an ounce of pot in his car.
Who cares? It's fucking weed.
Yeah. What lawmakers saying, oh, that's the city of where we live.
What's
saying,
funny is we're gonna look
600.
back on this in 50 years and be like, we sent motherfuckers to prison for 60 years for having fucking pot. We put people away for life, took them away from their children and from their family and from any sort of freedom. Prison's the worst. Fuck not having your freedom. That sounds awful. That's one of my biggest fears in life, is fucking prison. You took someone and put them in prison for 60 fucking years because they were dealing dope, because they were dealing pot, weed. And then it's going to be legal. It's going to be legal everywhere within 20 years.
Yeah, that's insane to me.
That's nuts.
That's extremely nuts.
And you talk about laws and what's fair and what's right and what's ethical. You know for a fact this fucking stoner you just pulled over who has fucking quarter of a fucking, or fucking tenth of an ounce, whatever, dime bag sitting there, who's just smoking, and he's got his pipe right there in his fucking center console, which I don't smoke. So, I mean, I have before, but I don't like on the regular by any way, shape, or form. It's been a while since I have.
I think that we can all agree that ethics is not the main variable when it comes to the creation of laws and regulatory.
Isn't that a problem, though?
Well, of course it is. Of course it is. But I think everybody knows that ethics are no longer the main thing that's balancing everything else out when it comes to the deciding factors of laws and litigation amongst everybody. And it's exactly what you were talking about. It's about positions of power. And power is just a derivative of money, or vice versa, however you want to say it.
It goes hand in hand.
It goes hand in hand. So it's really about an exchange of money, and ethics is no longer involved at all whenever it comes to it, because if it comes down to somebody all of a sudden making $1 billion off weed being legal who is high enough up, fuck yeah, they're going to legalize that shit.
They'll be like, legalize it right now.
They've never cared about individuals. Everybody hates politicians. I think there's one thing so many people fucking have in common, right? Everybody's like, man, that backstabbing fucking politician, man. Everybody fucking hates politicians for this reason, is because politics has nothing to do with ethics anymore. It's the division of ethics that has completely gotten away from it. That's why everybody hates fucking politicians and politics in general. Nobody fucking likes politics anymore.
But we vote on it.
They all
and
know.
there are people who do like it because they get off on it and they like to be controlled. And that's just the state that they live in and the way that they live. They love it.
And a lot of people like to think that they're playing a role in where society is going when that is not
in no
the
shape
case.
or form.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, let's all just fucking be honest. They talk. Oh man, your vote matters. MTV has that that bullshit. Rock the
MTV
vote.
still a thing?
Yeah, no, they do that rock the vote still.
Still?
every election year.
Do they still
Doesn't-
play music?
I don't know. I don't fucking watch MTV. Nobody has fucking cable anymore, so I don't know. But I know MTV still fucking does it.
Thank God,
but,
man. The cable companies rip you off, dude.
But no, it's a
Rip you
fucking
off.
it's a joke. We don't decide our leaders anymore. If you think that we do, first of all, even if your vote didn't matter, you're only getting to choose between A and B. Guess who decided on fucking A and B? The fucking 1% decided, okay, you either get to choose, even if your vote did count. This is the best case scenario. Let's say your vote does
100%
count. The 1% are still putting your one of two fucking options in front of you. They're still deciding all that. It's so simple. It's right in front of you. You're the shit. No, it's a little bit like tyranny. Yes,
I think the worst one's the most
But we're
recent
given
one.
enough freedom to where we don't.
Where I
fucking
was
flip the
literally,
script.
I didn't vote in this last one, right? And people asked me, they're literally like, "Well, you can't complain then if you didn't vote." And I'm like, I refuse to pick between. Okay, I didn't want Donald Trump to be president. I'll say that publicly right now on this podcast. I did. There was no part of me that wanted to be Donald Trump to be president. At the same time, there was 0% of me that wanted Hillary to be president.
There was a lot of people.
I don't want Trump to be president at all. I still don't to this day. There's no part of me. I think that that's a joke for our country. I think that you're getting someone in there who is very. I mean, I'm not going to go down that street. I think we're the laughing stock of the world right now, of other countries, for the person that we have as our president. At the same time, I could not, with good conscience mind, vote for Hillary when it's proven the cheating and the everything else that goes on with the DNC and all the like just illegal shit that went on from how she even got her spot to be able to be voted in.
Fucking Bernie Sanders.
And winning the primaries and all this different, like, so much shit went down that I just don't agree with. I cannot, so I didn't vote for either of them. And people are like, oh, that's throwing away your vote. No, that's me choosing not to, I don't know. It goes back to what he said about your options. When you have option A and option B, or even when you have more, even when you vote a little earlier and you're actually a little more involved in it, and you've got option A through F, that's still not enough.
No. But even
That
regardless,
shit is already chosen on
Right.
such a fucking high predetermined level.
regardless of the situation, whenever you get either option A or option B, they're still going to make executive orders, which it seems to be more frequent now as the presidents switch over to presidents or if they have an 8-year term. But what I'm saying is the frequency of executive orders are going up. They're just still implementing more laws on us that we have no control over. Zero, absolute, no control. President Obama comes in, passes Obamacare. A law stipulates that you will get fined if you don't purchase this health insurance. We are now putting a law on you that you will get fined. You know, like that's the shit that scares me, that we're to the point where the government can get away with fining people for not doing something like that.
Man, it's always been like that. Not so much for health insurance, but I mean, it's always been like that.
But they tested it. They tested the waters and they got away with it. And they took money from people. You're not getting that money back.
I didn't pay that.
I know. We already went down that road. Jesse and I filed our taxes wrong. We should have never paid that tax or that penalty, man.
I didn't last tax season.
I know we did for a while, man, and it was the cause of me not being. Yeah, whatever. Regardless,
No, you're in
it's
fear of the
frustrating,
government.
man.
You were afraid.
Yes.
Do you want the government? Do you want to? If the government tells you to do something and say, "Hey, give us money,"
I'm
do you
gonna
want to?
do
Do you
it.
want to test those waters?
That goes what
No.
You know what,
what
the
you said
government
about.
can do to you?
Oh, dude, it's
The government
game
can
over.
do whatever
Paul,
the
didn't you
fuck
say
they
everybody
want to
should?
do to you.
Didn't you
Shut
say everybody
Matt.
should just stop paying property tax though?
Yeah.
You said everybody should stop.
Yes.
And why wouldn't people stop? Because they're afraid. The same reason you paid the fucking fine for your health insurance.
His
No.
mentality was if you got everybody
Yeah.
on board, they
Yeah.
couldn't do anything.
I know.
Exactly.
But I'm saying
But it would
people
take a
that's
movement.
people are afraid. People are afraid to do that. The same reason that you paid the fine for not having the health insurance.
It's not even that they're afraid; they're just used to paying it, and they don't realize that they're being ripped off. Once you're used to
But
being ripped
he
off,
wasn't-
you're used to it.
He wasn't
it doesn't
used,
even feel like you're getting
he wasn't
ripped off
used
anymore.
to the health insurance one. He paid that out of the fear for it's illegal now.
I'm pretty sure
I mean-
everybody was pissed off about having to
Yeah.
fucking pay
Yeah,
that
But
penalty.
if I was smart and I would have did a little bit of research and did what you did, I would have been fine. I never would have paid it. You know, there's millions of people who didn't pay it. They just were smart enough to.
We say this and they're like listening right now, and tomorrow I get fucking audited, arrested.
You never
If
once
they
in this
did- if they
podcast said you
fucking
didn't
did
have
it to
health
you, they'd have to
insurance.
fucking
That's
do
true.
it to everybody.
I didn't.
It's just we're to that point, man. They tested the waters. They know they can do it. Law is frustrating. Law is to a point now where
It's a game.
Yeah, it's a game. It's a game where
Because if you have enough money, you can buy a lawyer who knows the game, knows the dice roll better than anybody else, and get you out of it.
OJ.
Oh, that's the biggest.
Nothing's solid. If you, dude, I've been arrested for marijuana before. I paid enough money for an attorney Dude, it was it
all
was
about
a
money.
noise disturbance. Is what it got rewritten to a noise disturbance or some shit. That doesn't even make sense. That's not even what I did.
You want,
People
what the
out
fuck?
there,
That's
people out
laws literally a game.
you want to hear a joke real quick?
And
Fucking when I was in high school, my stepsister at the time, she's like 2 weeks older than me, so basically exact same age. My stepsister, she got a ticket in Platte City for running a stop sign. I got a ticket one spot over in Farrellview for speeding when we were both like 16 or 17. Like in the same month it happened. Her prosecutor was my defending, whatever you want to call, I don't know how you word that.
your attorney.
Yeah. Her prosecutor in Platte City was my attorney in Farrellview. And my prosecutor in Farrellview was her attorney in Platte City. I shit you not. And we literally, my dad talked to both of them. And we fucking, all 5 of us sat in a room. And they worked up a fucking deal. So where it literally just cost us a couple $1,000s. And we both just got out of it.
And those two got the side because they were playing
They got
opposite
the
roles.
money. They got the fucking money. And they're playing against each other on opposite.
But they both win though.
That's what I'm saying. They get the money because
and they're you
they're
and I.
literally
They're
she's
you and I.
she's the prosecutor. He's the prosecutor for her case, but he's defending me.
That should be illegal.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? But that happened. That legitimately happened.
Which
Like,
is another law, which obviously it is illegal, but
So
they
they
got
don't
away
care
with
about
it.
no,
Man,
because it's no, they got away with it because it's not a law because they're different counties.
yeah, whatever. It's just people. We need to wake up, man. And there's some shit going on in this country where we need to quit just sitting on the side and taking it in the ream of the culo and saying, man, you know what? You know, it's America. Like we have it good. You know, it's not too bad here. In
I mean, it's
America.
not too bad.
It's not too bad.
Still,
but
still the best place to live.
At the
in
same
the
time-
world.
at the
one
same
of the best
time-
places to live.
One of.
It's fucking up there.
One
Come
of.
on,
It's
man.
up there
It's
for
fucking
sure.
up
I
there.
agree 100%. It's up there. I wouldn't say it's the best.
At the same time, man, we are strong. We are one. We are a 300 million people. We can't be stopped. Like if we ever wanted to change things, we could definitely change. And I don't want people to ever forget about that. You know, people would rather 10,000 people would rather gather in KCP&L today to watch U.S. women's soccer win a world championship than have those same 10,000 people or even gather that many amount of people and go to a law enforcement office and say, hey, like, we're not okay with this law. This is absolutely bullshit.
Convenience and entertainment, man. People don't care enough. We're all sheep,
people care about
including us.
entertainment.
Fucked. We are fucked. We are fucked.
People care
Yeah,
about
we're fucked.
entertainment. They don't give a shit about politics.
Yeah. As long as we can go watch Patrick Mahomes.
I'll just keep paying my property taxes and watch Patrick Mahomes.
I was super pumped during because they give you a number for surgery. They gave me number 15, and I was immediately like, "Woo, let's fucking go!" Nobody
Bro,
else got it.
Put all your money on the
Yeah,
Chiefs winning the
yeah,
Super Bowl
that's-
this year.
Yeah, I was super
What are the
pumped.
odds? What are the odds?
What, that they win the Super Bowl?
Yeah. I need to look it up. We're getting close to Chiefs.
See how quick we
podcast.
just
Man,
switched instead of.
the shit.
Yeah.
Man, but I love football so much.
That's
though.
my point. That's
I
my
love
fucking
football
point.
so
That was
much.
Paul's
Don't-
point.
Yeah.
Don't ever take football away from me.
That's what I was trying
I'll
to
pay
do.
all the property taxes you want.
You're
Do
right.
not take away Patrick
Fuck, you're
Mahomes.
right.
Yeah. I want that Super Bowl.
It's not enough to flip the script yet, man. They got to take a little bit more away from us. Piss us off just enough to flip the script. They won't
keep
do that.
it. They
because they're
won't. We
smart
talked
enough.
about this
They
with
won't,
taxes.
though.
They're
They
smart
keep it
enough.
at that fucking. They
That
find
perfect
a level.
The perfect
They got
level.
those smart ass people, those fucking Harvard graduates who figure out they're like, this is the amount we can fuck them before they're like, hey, whoa, I don't like this.
And they get about like 2 notches away from that, and then that's where we, that's where we stand. But we probably adjust to it, and then they slowly take more and more
They
away
always
from
move
us.
it up. They're slowly like, well, this time I'm not
So
going
we're
to use a
headed-
condom.
so we're-
This time I'm not going to
If
use
that's
any
the
lube.
mentality, we're headed definitely for a dystopian fucking society, to where everybody's plugged in front of a TV, which wouldn't surprise me, but
No, they're heading
Whatever.
there already, man.
Yeah, of
it
course.
has to be.
of course.
There's no other way around it.
We're headed toward the mother AI.
I honestly
man.
think it's kind of
Eventually we'll
no.
be
I
plugged
honestly,
in.
with what you're saying about we're heading there towards the dystopian future, I think it's like what Elon Musk said about AI, where it's like we're not there
Exactly.
yet, but it's already too late.
Yep.
As far
Oh,
as the
it is.
dystopian future goes, we're not there,
Well,
but it's already too late to change it.
We're teetering
It's-
right now.
yeah.
Our children will see it full blown for sure.
Let's okay. Worst case scenario happens, right? It's not even a worst case scenario. Let's say we do something about this. Let's say people revolt.
This
Would-
has
would-
always been
would-
my argument.
Would you be
How's
a part
that?
of it?
How's that yellow vest movement going right now in Paris?
It was very quiet for the longest time. I haven't looked it up. I'm sure it's back to normal.
Are you really?
I don't know. Do
That's
you know
my
anything
point.
different?
No, that's my point though.
Did anything change is the question.
Yeah, did anything change? You're not even hearing about it anymore, so it's
Well-
obviously not that important on a world scale.
It was never important on a world scale.
It should be.
I agree. There was a YouTuber, We Are Change, that I heard all my information about that Yellow Vest movement.
But you haven't. That's the point
When
I'm
I'm-
getting
when
at,
I'm-
Paul. Is you haven't heard anything else about it, which means it's not. Man,
But
even
maybe they did change something. I don't know. But Macron's still president, so obviously no. You're right.
yeah, no,
Nothing
it doesn't
changed.
fucking even revolts, bro. They don't. It's too late.
No, I mean that
No, it's too late.
that was on a very big scale, but not a large scale.
It hasn't happened yet,
Okay.
but the progress is already.
In China, man, there was like 2 weeks ago or even a week ago, 1 million people were on
Yeah,
the streets.
protesting
a
all that
million,
shit.
A million.
You think someone's gonna change? I don't.
I mean, 1 million people. I mean,
Nope.
if they started destroying shit, then maybe.
Nope.
But
That doesn't really change anything
No.
because it only affects the inner workings of society.
Everything's
This is
already
what
in progress. It's already. We're set in something we
On-
can't change.
On that little notion, as far as whenever you peaceful protest, there's a reason why peaceful protests work out so much better. Is whenever you go and vandalize fucking shit during your protest, all you're doing is hurting your community.
I
You're
agree
not.
with that. I agree with that.
You're
but
not going up against. You're not hurting the pocket of the fucking individual you're going up against.
I'm
They
not
don't
a-
give a shit. They have insurance. Insurance companies back them up. Fucking, you can't even touch them. All you're doing is ruining the inner workings of your small local community.
I think if you really
Like,
wanted,
it's awful. Don't
if-
loot shit whenever
if
you're
you
protesting.
If
That's
you
stupid.
if you really want to change, I agree with you. I'm sorry. Don't loot ever. If you really want to do something, you got 1 million people behind your back, and you're that fucking first person in the front of that line of that 1 million people, and you're heading somewhere. Head to where they make the laws. Head to that place, and fucking be as loud as you can. Right.
The law factory.
Yeah,
Whenever you're headed to the,
The
law,
law
factory,
factory.
the place where
you
they
know
make
what
laws.
the fuck I'm talking about, man. Head to DC or head to China, wherever.
It's
they're
an invisible fucking intangible fucking thing.
No,
There
it's
is
not.
no place you
no,
can go
I mean,
to.
you know
You
exactly.
kill
where-
off an individual, another one will replace
No,
them,
you-
and they'll get the salary.
That's the
and
messed
then
up part. Is you could
All
really.
right.
You can't kill that entity, man. It's too much.
Motherfucker.
You
It's got
could
too
you could
much
get, and
momentum.
I should
You
say
can't kill that entity.
just because
It's
there
not one
truly is
person.
there is that search function out there where they can filter through emails and audio chat and all that other crazy stuff. This isn't a conspiracy thing. It actually fucking exists. We all know about it. But if I were to say right now that there were a multitude of people to gather together, I'm not influencing this. I'm not saying this should happen. I should specify this. I am not saying this should happen. I'm saying hypothetically, if there were a multitude of people who all gathered together and they decided to murder the president of the United States.
Oh God, don't say that.
Shit,
I can't
man.
say that.
We're gonna flag
I'm
this
ver-
whole fucking video. God
well,
damn
then
it.
fucking edit that part
say
out if
vice
you want
president. Just
Yeah,
say
I'm
vice
going to.
Doesn't matter.
president.
No, I'm making a point here, and it is
Damn it.
if you truly feel that way, you can edit this whole segment out. 100% you can edit it out. I'm truly making a point here, though, that this is all hypothetical. If a group of people were to get together and do that, and even take out 14 other people in line, that's not even biting off the head of the snake. There's so much more there that retakes the place.
Corporations,
Which is the
fucking-
point that Jesse was making.
Their
I went to
inner
an
workings
I went to
is-
an
it's
extreme with it, and
it's an
obviously
entity.
this is a joke and a hypothetical in
It's a-
every way, shape, and form. Paul, if you're worried about the YouTube video, cut this 2-minute segment out.
No, you're still gonna post it. No, they're not gonna give a shit.
Well, they won't now, but if we ever made it big, they would definitely pull it up for sure.
Yeah, no, of course.
But that's
then
that's
they'd
also
have to
that's
listen
why
to the
we're
rest of
doing
the
this,
fucking
though,
video.
right? People need to hear what.
But it is an inner working of individuals and bank accounts and unknown names being privately funded through so many fucking things with so many safety nets, so many thought through fucking things. You cannot destroy this beast that is.
I disagree. We are the majority. You know what?
The majority doesn't matter anymore.
I don't think that anyone ever would have thought
The majority are.
that the British could have been defeated and we could have came to America and did what we did here. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that.
That was the difference. We're talking. You're talking about new land,
But
a
they didn't know
completely
that.
different community.
People didn't know that though.
What do you mean people didn't know that?
And maybe they knew it in hindsight. They never been there. They're traveling there.
No, what I'm saying is they went to a new land. They were still being ruled by a country that has no say-so over what they're doing because they're all... You're also talking about a smaller population. Across a vast distance, it's easier to break apart.
They're still an authoritarian state.
That would have taken fucking 4 months to send somebody over to do anything about
Well,
it.
I mean, there were still people there in place to control these people.
Not really.
Yeah, really, because they're still being controlled now to this day. So they've always been controlled.
Yo, now we have our own thing in place controlling us here in our.
We've been controlled since they came here to America. I don't know where I was going with
Yeah,
that.
and we're talking about different things at this point.
I mean, we're at an hour and four.
59 minutes after you cut out 5 minutes.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't cut out.
Okay.
I'd cut out literally 20 seconds. That's
After
it.
after that whole thing about wishing the president of the United
I'd-
States long life,
Yeah.
and
I
well-being.
was like, I didn't say anything that hardcore.
Yeah.
There's ways to reword that.
Yeah.
Johnny.
Trump came out.
I know but no, people, I hate, that's a problem though. The fact that you have to word that differently. I'm not going to say it again, obviously.
Actually, YouTube is probably super okay with that.
I'm
for,
just,
you know,
no, but
They-
I'm
they
serious.
probably
The
truly
fact
are,
that
so
both of
we're-
you
we're
went,
good.
the fact that right now, both of you in this room with me went, ooh, you can't say that. Like, that's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Because I am very blatantly specifying that it is a joke. It's a hypothetical. I'm just throwing out. That's how you learn things. That's fucking, I mean, that's part of communication and talking and hypotheses and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
True that, man.
it is.
True that.
Yeah. I've had one too many twisted teas.
Yeah. Johnny's getting twisted over
Yeah,
there, man.
going hardcore
Getting
with the fucking
twisted.
5%.
He's got like 3 different flavors and shit.
Yeah, I accidentally bought the variety pack.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I mean, peach kind of sucks.
I could eat a peach for hours, man.
Peaches are delicious, man.
Peaches for free.
Canned peaches or
Millions
fresh?
of peaches.
No, they're canned.
You don't like fresh
You know what
peaches?
a fresh peach is?
What?
It's still in peach form, and you cut it and
You
eat
can
it.
only eat canned
You
peach.
can't say canned peach or canned peaches are fresh.
You can only eat canned
No,
peaches.
he wasn't saying canned peaches are fresh. He said canned or fresh. Like, what are you eating?
Yes,
No.
that's what I said.
Okay, then
Yeah,
I
that was a
misconstrued
question.
what you said. I
Yeah,
thought you were saying
you really
canned
did.
peaches are fresh.
No.
I was
No,
like, that's not.
no.
I was like,
No.
man, your
Said
definition
canned
of
or
fresh is-
fresh.
You said peaches are good. I said canned or
I
fresh.
enjoy canned peaches. Canned peaches. Canned
I
peaches.
love preacher in a can, yo.
Jesse's all about that preacher in a can, man.
Yes.
Dude, I'm kind of disappointed that nobody sent their thoughts and prayers over comments last week for Jesse's leg.
Yeah.
I'm real disappointed, guys. I would be healing much faster if there would have been thoughts and prayers in
Like
the comments.
279 people watched the video, and I'm not going numbers here. I'm sorry, but that's where we're at with that video with Brian Forrester. 279. There's a lot of Brian fans, man. They probably didn't know who Jesse was.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Maybe some of them will watch this and be like, oh, shit, Jesse's a good dude. I hope his leg's not all fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Carl, why wouldn't you put a comment and say, get well, Jesse? Come
Yeah,
on,
man.
dude.
My orthopedic surgeon is going to literally take off this splint and be like, man, you didn't get nearly as many hopes and prayers as I prescribed you to get
You're going to have 2 more
over
weeks.
the internet. He's
2
like,
more
it's
weeks in
going
this
to push it
cast.
back another 2 weeks. And I'm going to go, Dr. Wade, I'm very sorry. I'm going to get on social media. I'm going to work on this. I'm going to, be a social warrior, and figure this whole thing out and try to get as many hopes and prayers for my my tibia as humanly possible.
I'm going to grab one more drink. Are we done here with the podcast? Is
Yeah,
this
yeah.
a
Yeah,
thing?
we're
Okay.
man, fuck,
well,
we're
I'll have
dragging
to-
it on.
Yeah,
So-
no, okay. I hope that, honestly, next movie, I hope Ariel's a man.
All right, man. So there you have it. That was Jesse back in the house. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification to all our junkies out there.
Hey man, it's good to be back, and never forget, like 9/11. Hey, stay fly and ring the bell.